Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to KROJ 101.5 Radio Olin, here with your host, Hugo and Jason.
What up, what up?
What up, everybody? And also, Jovanes. He's been with us since 8 o'clock in the morning, but in the span of our little musical break and our top of the hour, we also have another guest that came in here from Great Alternatives. His name is Ruben. How's it going, Ruben?
Hello, everybody. Everything's good. I hope everyone's feeling great today.
How's your morning been?
Busy,
typical.
right?
Every bit, when you're up to doing something good, you maintain busy and active.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great to hear. So, Ruben is here with Great Alternatives, right? Do you want to give us a little quick rundown of what Great Alternatives does? How does it help the community? And something that you would want to just let the listeners know.
So we're here in the community of Pacoima, a little bit of San Fernando and Sun Valley. We're trying to assist people and put them in a better position as far as helping out with solar systems. And at the same time, we also have a workforce program that we're inviting people, local people here, to come and work. Not just work. It's not work, but it's more of a training session where if you're struggling or if you have a need to go in a different path, we do offer a paid training for 13 weeks. Nice. You just need to be over 18, be able to lift over 50 pounds, and also be able to get on top of the roof. As far as the solar side goes, we need those projects because it's all a circle and all connects together, right?
Yeah.
In order to provide these kinds of good deeds as far as getting people trained, getting people on a different path, we need those projects, right? And the work that we do is great. Everything's under warranty, so people who worry, oh well, you're training people and what kind of work is that gonna look like? Right? No, everything gets done. We have people, qualified people. We have a full team that is currently doing all the installs. We just started this program again. Due to COVID, we stopped for a while. But now that everything's opening up and people are starting to get more comfortable, we figured there's still the need to get people assisted with jobs. And then as far as utilities, I don't know if you guys noticed, but utilities have been going up.
Yeah.
And
telling me, yeah.
If you have savings and it's free, and those funds are available, might as well take advantage of it before those funds are there. Currently, we have a donation that was given through us through Wells Fargo, where they donated a lot of money to help out with the roof, because roof is not part of the grant, right? So this assists people in a way that, okay, if you need roofing services as well, might as well get it done, right?
Yeah.
They're up there, right? The workers are up there.
Yeah, they're up there. Might as well address it, because eventually
you got to change it.
A roof is like so detrimental to the home because I don't know if you guys know, but water can do a lot of damage to a house, right? Yeah. So those funds are available. We do right now some partial roofing. Sometimes we're able to do full-time roofing, depending, on each case. Every case is different, and we try to assist as much as we can. We also have funding for main service panels, the electrical boxes. They're the main ones.
Yeah.
If needed, if required, we cover those costs. So the other thing I want to explain and emphasize is that in this industry, it had a negative, vibe because there was a lot of bad practices out there. Right?
Okay. Solar people.
Yeah, people. That's one thing that so now we're talking like in my area, because I'm a house owner, and that's something that I've been very much afraid of, because and actually me and one of our partners that come and work here, his name is Jerry, we've been talking a lot about you and grid alternatives, because so we recently I would say last month we got an electrical bill. And it was like peak heat. When it was peak heat, we had the AC on the whole time. Our bill came out to $1,400 for that bill. We were like, okay, that's insane. I was like, is there a different way? What can we do? And then we started looking into you. And I know we've had a lot of other people give very, very bad reviews on just the solar panel industry in general. But those are for-profit businesses that have, and I know Jerry was like, hey, you need to find like a non-profit that is not for the, to bring in the bucks and try to, hustle you. And that's where you came in. And I was like, man, I need to hit up Ruben, because I know you have been talking to me about this for a while already, right?
Right.
And I think we talked about this. And you are a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
And there is nothing behind the scam. You're doing it to benefit the community, right?
Correct.
That's what the funds are for.
That's what the funds are for. And most people that enter that nonprofit world, they're the mentality is different.
Yeah, because you know.
You're there to help.
Yeah.
You're there to assist and put people in a better situation. You're trying to impact in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's exactly why I started thinking of you when it came down to these solar panels. And it's actually something I would want to talk to you about, maybe not in a live show, something where we can get something going on for my house. But and you make a perfect point. When you're in a nonprofit business, you come we get funds. We're there to help others for free. That's the main purpose of a nonprofit, and we have had a lot of times where I'm like, man, why don't you let us help you? Like, you need the help. We are here for free, right? And that's where I do understand this whole nonprofit mentality. Once you're in it, because a lot of people do have this it's too good to be true mentality.
And to me, that point that you're making right now, and I mean to interrupt, is that I grew up in a cultural mentality. I like to say cultural because I feel like a lot of people do feel the same way. Is nothing's for free.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly. there's this like again, speaking culturally, there's like, no, we don't take help, we don't ask for help, we're gonna figure it out. Like, asking for help is like a sign of weakness. And it's kind of, like you said, it is cultural because other cultures do it too. But it's, I don't want to say it's like a flawed philosophy. Like, that's the whole point of, we call it nonprofit, but for purpose work, and the money it's not free, right? It's paid for.
Right.
It's already paid for. It's things that, whoever the funder is paid for it for people like you or like whoever to benefit from it. So it's like, it's not going to cost you anything. It's already been paid for. And like, communicating that to people is not the easiest thing, especially when they're thinking like, nah, there's a catch to this, or like, because people have been, screwed over in the past, especially you have traumatized communities.
Yeah.
Some places even here in Pacoima, like, there was a point where they would think, nah, like, no, thank you, get out of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and that's a very big question I would want to ask you, Ruben, is like, how are you dealing with these barriers of, I know the solar panel industry, it has a pretty tough reputation right now. There's a lot of people leaving feedback on them getting overcharged or them getting this humongous bill at the end of the year. So that's something that what's the difference between a solar panel business, or not business, but like a non-profit organization dealing with solar panels compared to a for-profit business that is going into like the solar panel? What differentiates you guys? So
things to look for when you get an approach about solar. Number one, we don't need to pull your credit. We don't need your social security number. Okay. All we need is to verify income, make sure you qualify under the guideline for the grant. Okay. We need to make sure that the property is in line or aligned with guidelines in the city for safety and building and safety.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But the other thing that separates us, we're not pushy. We're here to help you. And we're here to try to position you and coach you through the whole process, right?
Yeah.
The main thing to look for is make sure that your credit doesn't get ran. There's no lien on the properties, by the way. So everything that we do is also under warranty. Just like you would on the profit side.
Yeah.
So if that's not worried, don't worry. We do have warranties and everything's there to protect you. We do have systems in place to make sure that we don't leave you in the limbo As you hear, more solar companies, they go out of business or they file bankruptcy or whatever, and they just fade out and they leave you with all the problems, and then you don't know where to go to. There's a lot of people stuck that the systems, it may be something very simple, but there's nobody there to help them.
Yeah.
You know.
I have a question. What, you're the executive director, right? Or
No, I'm a community engagement coordinator here.
so what is your philosophy, for this type of work? What drives you? What's your philosophy?
Well, let me give you a little background on how I got started then.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
That's good.
So I started as a volunteer for 4.5 years with Grid
Wow.
before I got hired. Now,
That's awesome.
Now I'm hired. I've been here for just over a year as a full-time employee, right? So like I was telling you, my mentality is different. I'm coming here with in good faith,
Okay.
in good faith, trying to make a positive impact. That's been part of my childhood that I always wanted to do, is help out my community in some kind of way, right? And the opportunity presented itself, and that's my philosophy. I want to help. I want to put myself in a position where I can improve somebody else's life in some kind of way, right?
That's amazing. That's actually really good to hear, because there's a lot of people out there, that it's all about them, and as long as they get their way, or they get
What they want.
what they want, or the most money, or the most gems, or whatever, you can go back to go back centuries, pirates, whoever had the most gold, and so forth. It's always about getting more than someone else,
Right.
because now you are the top. And it's good to see that, that you're out here trying to help others and not just benefit yourself. And that's a good image for Green Alternative because of that, how solar panels have been. So another question regarding solar panels. And so my guess here is that the people that are getting offered these jobs, right? You said that they're, you're offering jobs, trainings.
Mm-hmm.
Would they be like installing solar panels?
They would be installing panels throughout the training. At first, we train them. We give them the education on how to handle things, because not everybody knows how to handle power tools. Not everyone knows how to walk the roof, or how to get on top of the roof, right?
Yeah.
So we wanna be safe first, and educate people, and then we do hands-on training. We have a mock, or a fake roof, if you would, on the ground, so this way they practice installing
Like
prior to getting onto an actual roof.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So we get you ready. We get you certified that you went through the training. We also train for OSHA, which is it has to do with safety, and and then we also do CPR certification as well, because emergencies do occur, and we want to make sure that you're ready to act and help out. So once they go through the training, which is a 13-week training, you have to commit the 5 days, right? And it's like a full-time job. You got to treat it that way, Monday through Friday. You go to class, and depending on where in the class you are, then you're gonna have, whether it's electricity education or installation education, and then sometimes going to a site and helping out, right? So every day is a little bit different. We try to change it so that way you maintain engaged and you're always learning. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after the training is done, we do try to get them, interviewed by other employers. We used to have a really close network with a lot of employers, but since COVID happened, a lot of adjustments were made. Everyone was getting impacted, right?
Yeah.
So right now, my suggestion to those people that are looking for a different path, or trying to move forward, or trying to improve their situation, this is a good opportunity to sign up. You can go through our website. You can call me directly, and I'll leave all my information.
Yeah, and we will also have that in our social media as well.
So either way, no matter what point of contact you use, you're gonna get directed to the right people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one of the things about, you were asking about like the job training. What does the ideal candidate look like? You said people who are trying to change their life, but what does that mean? Can people, like, I'll just be frank, can people with who've been incarcerated, it doesn't matter about immigration status, like what kind of people can apply for this?
Okay, let me start with the hard one. Immigration status usually tends to be a small obstacle. As long as you're able to work and file taxes, because we do have to record that
Yeah.
we paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make sure that you're able to work in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't need to be, you're a citizen. You could be permanent resident, temporary resident. As long as you're able to work legally in the United States, there should be no issues. Now, people that are looking for a second chance, because let's face it, guys, nowadays most employers are looking at background checks,
Yeah.
regardless of the position, regardless of what you do, and whether employers, regardless of what they see, and they may say, "Oh, we don't look at that. We just want to know," right? But sometimes it's not the case, right? And so these people get excluded to going back into the working world and trying to, be a positive thing as far as, you know, what's the word? As, contributing to society in the proper
Yeah.
way. Uh, and they need this. They need these kinds of trainings. They need jobs, because that's how changes are made. They're coming out trying to do something good, but if no one gives them an opportunity, then you have a struggle.
Yeah.
And
It's like they come out worse than the way they came in.
right, because then I feel, and this is just a personal opinion, that nobody wants me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right? Nobody wants me, so they go back to other things that got them in jail, or getting them back into jail, or in bad situations. So I think as a community, the community needs to step up and try to give people a second chance. Nobody is perfect, and we make mistakes, but we should be allowed to rectify and make a change.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the most part, most people go through an evolution of feelings and dynamics of thoughts, as you get older, because you
Yeah.
have different priorities to change. You yourself go through changes,
Yeah.
through life as time passes. So we should allow these people to make a change, because they do. So I'm not saying all of them, but if they are looking for a job, they are trying to do something positive.
Yeah.
you know and what better way to give them a start? Most of these people, they're very smart too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's lost the potential into contribution to a community, because I believe everybody's smart. It's just, you just gotta, sometimes you just need a little help to put you in the right path.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And honestly, I think that everyone deserves a chance, but I guess that's, at least to me, that's, beyond my pay grade. And I know everything has its own reasoning. And I know one thing that I see a lot is just a lot of people's image. A lot of people do care about their image. A lot of businesses care a lot about their image.
Mm.
And it is important to really, and also to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know a lot of things play a role.
I don't know. I think maybe it's just today, but I would have to disagree. I think companies that would hire people with recently incarcerated felons, that would actually make their company look really good, because they're we believe in people. And I think one of the biggest issues that I think is happening today is people they put profits before people, and sometimes you got to put the people before the profits, because sometimes it just takes that, hey man, I'm gonna give you a chance, for them to turn their life around and be I'm not gonna disappoint you because you're giving me a chance. And people are like that. They want a second chance. And so I think if a company's worried about hiring felons for their image, what are they doing it begs bears questions. It's how is the image of the company so important? Google hires people without a college degree now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The world is weird.
Yeah, I guess that's just a difference of thought.
Yeah.
Well, to go to that, and it's gonna make me look like, oh well, where are you at?
That's what we're complex, man.
Right? So I think that the concerns are valid from other companies. So it depends what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, everything has to do with what you're building, right? So if you're given a chance, obviously you're not gonna start as CEO most of the time, right? So you need to start somewhere,
Yeah.
okay? And you need to build that history. And if you're consistently building after doing something wrong, hey, I did this, but look at me now. Look what I'm doing. Look what I've done. I got a promotion. It took me 6 months, a year, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
But now you're building now you're building kind of like a curriculum or a resume that you can show and you can grow. And it's up to you as an individual how fast you're growing, where you grow to. And because everybody has a different vision, right?
Yeah.
Different goals. But it's just, don't get intimidated. Don't get intimidated. Don't give up hope. Because you're building for yourself. And people are going to see your potential. And if they didn't, then it's best not to get it through them. You need to go to somebody that can see your potential.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go to somewhere that you're valued and you're aligned, because then that creates a better working environment for yourself, because now it strengthens your beliefs and the want to do something more, because now you're in a different mind frame.
Yeah. And it's crazy that society works in a lot of different ways, right? And everybody has a different philosophy, and but I agree. I think that having that kind of mentality is needed as well. And
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go
But
ahead.
the way you speak, Ruben, you come from like you have like this leadership mindset. Like the way that you're speaking about it, like you're very careful. What's your like background? Where did you start? Because you sound like you have like a lot of experience.
Yeah, my shoes have holes in them. I've walked the path. I mean, I bumped and grind and bruised up just like everybody, It's just everybody goes through different paths. Some paths are shorter than others, But for me, it goes again to getting matured and your mentality changing through time, right? And you start appreciating things. At least for me,
Yeah.
I can only speak for myself. And that was me. Before, it was all about number one, me. I did okay. I come from a lending background, and so I know how to risk assess, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
But that opened up my mind as far as potential, because I would see people that didn't have a degree, that didn't have education. One time I met a guy that couldn't even write and read, but yet they were millionaires, and to me that gave me hope. To me, it's like, he did it, right? And this one person was so impressive to me, because he came in with no paper or no documents. He started working in Oxnard washing semi trucks, right?
that's where it began.
And then next thing you know, he's like, why am I working for someone where I can be making my own? So he bought a bucket and started doing it manually, the hard way, right? But it gives it to me, that was impressive, because he saw the vision of what he wanted to do. And he knew that the path was going to be hard, because nothing is given to you. You have to earn it. You have to earn it, and you have to work for it, Lately, I'm noticing into this society, and it might sound wrong, but we feel a sense of entitlement, and I think we lost the grit of enduring and going through the paths,
Yeah.
And I think that will create a better, stronger future, because now you have a foundation. If you start without a foundation, everything that you built is gonna fall, because you got no ground, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I look at as a person. And to go back to what you were saying, where do I come from? That's where my mentality comes from, because someone else did it, I can do it too. And that's applies to anybody. It doesn't matter, gender, whatever it is, it applies to everybody, And if I was to leave something today, that would be probably one of the things I want to leave to people, is that don't give up, just know that it's going to be a grind, and just be ready for it,
That's
just
Yeah.
buckle up.
Buckle up.
Some things will be
Perfectly
good.
said. It's very easy to start flowing into
To
conversation.
keep talking.
And keep talking. That happens a lot here in the Art of Action, where though we are playing musical break, because we are a radio show, we do want to keep the audience not only interested in what we say, but also the music that we play.
That's right.
That should be a slogan. But we tend to over talk during our musical breaks here in the background, and I know you were just about to get into some juicy stuff when I was like, wait, we're about to come in. We're about to come in. And I know there's something that you wanted to talk about. I don't know if you want to kind of lead it in and see how that conversation is going to go.
Sure. Yeah, so basically, I was going to start getting into other people that we also impact, which is the senior community.
Okay.
And nowadays, it has transcended, it has changed throughout the years where right now we're in a capitalist environment. Before, you used to see a lot of mom and pop shops, right? But now you start seeing branding names. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just what before, when people used to retire, they used to use their nest egg and invest it into a small business. Now, if you were to do that nowadays, chances of survival of any small business becomes very little. It's very frail, right? Now, how do we impact grid? How does grid impact these kinds of communities? So for a senior person, just imagine this. You're earning, your regular paid time, income, right? The moment you retire, what happens to your income?
It stops.
It stops, right? It comes down, right? Because now you're on Social Security income. You go from earning, I don't know, just for an example, 5,000, and then now you're on Social Security, getting back 1,200, 1,500 if you're lucky. Sometimes you get 2,000, but so it doesn't stop there though, okay? Because now, if you bought a home and if it's not paid off, guess the mortgage doesn't change, right?
Yeah.
The utility bills, do they go up or down?
Up.
Right?
Yeah, usually the thing that changes is your income, right?
Right.
That's usually the change.
Right. And it doesn't stop there. So what happens to your health? Do you need more medical assistance? Do you need to buy more medicine?
Yeah, I can see.
So life becomes more expensive, right?
Definitely.
And then by you saving a little bit, it just puts you in a better position. It's not the cure, it's not the silver bullet, but you gotta try to improve any way you can. And this community gets neglected, I feel, not just here locally, but throughout the country, right? And what's funny is now is like there's a lot of nonprofits, but they don't know about it, And it doesn't have to be a solar panel. It doesn't have to be. There's other resources that they have, but the job, for some reason, doesn't translate to what we're trying to accomplish, which is putting these people in a better position, right? And if, let's say, just to give you an example, there's other organizations that are helping out community members with bill payments, So if you start adding all these things up, it can give these people a better way of living, They don't have to sell their home. They can still keep their home and be able to, and that's the goal. Why should you work through all these years to end up to having to being forced to sell your home or lose it? It's not cool.
One of the things is like it's also cultural, right? In the U.S., right? A lot of times when our family members get older or whoever gets older, we tend to like forget about them. We put, that's why retirement homes exist. The retirement communities exist because it's like they're taken care of. They're in a community with other older individuals. And it's kind of sad, because in other places, like having the grandparent or even the great grandparent in the home is like an obligation. Like you're almost obligated, I think in some Asian countries, to take care of your older family members. Like there's no retirement homes. There's nothing like that. And then we talked about like when you retire, sometimes, my dad retired, he still drives for Uber. They need some sort of income still, So I think I still don't really see like what does Grid do to kind of support them?
So these kinds of scenarios are important because as an older person, think about it. If you can reduce your bill by 80%, what does that do to you?
Oh yeah,
Directly.
it just frees you up.
You know, so
Like
that's
you're
money
free.
you didn't have, right?
Yeah, that's yeah. Saving is making
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
at this point.
Right?
Yeah,
Not only that, so people are worried, well, well, I don't know if I'm going to keep my house. Well, if you have a system that is paid for, especially through us, you know, it increases the value because, usually what happens is when you sell, there's either a lien or there's a contract pending. With us, everything's paid for, so then the next step would be whatever the service continue with that home. It stays with that home, so the next owner keeps the benefits,
Mm.
and there's no liens against the home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the beauty of it.
So in a way, grid alternatives provide security in like of the investment of a home.
Yeah. So and to address kind of what you mentioned, or let me just kind of spin it off a little bit, is usually when people sell their homes, they find out that there's a big old lien on their property, and it's gonna eat up away from the profits that they're getting from the proceeds of the sale of the property.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that in grid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's again, we're trying to put you in a better situation, and that's the goal. Everywhere you turn with us, you're gonna notice that we are trying to do the right thing here by you.
Mm-hmm.
My struggle is that people is like, no, that's too good.
That-
It's not that it's too good, but it exists. It
yeah.
exists. I'm not saying we're like the angel that came from the heaven to no. But we are trying to help, and we're trying to put you in it comes from a good place.
Yeah.
It's pure. At least when you're talking to me, that's what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And consistency, and doing those things. And again, when you're in this nonprofit world, that's what matters. And that's the thing that people don't probably capture when we're in contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would need some help as far as the community goes, and just kind of give me a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? It's
Yeah.
just getting that trust from the community to just kind of, and I kind of understand. To a certain extent, I was thinking like, again, that whole mentality of, it's just too good to be true. Why would somebody, especially living in a community like Pacoima, where like nothing's for free. Usually something comes with a what if, or a caveat. Something it's never just to like free or paid for in Jason's words. So I can kind of understand why there's a little bit of like doubt and just disbelief. And I'm glad that you're coming here and letting us know that it's full hearted and there's nothing wrong with being helped in that sense, because it is a very much humongous help that you're providing. It's not little, which is awesome for you that you're able to provide this kind of help for people. It's just, it sucks that a lot of people see it as too good to be true, which is, in your case, it's cool that you're able to provide something that amazing that kind of baffles people and like, wow, like is this like even true? Like, what's the catch? That's I'm sure that's people's mentality. What's the catch?
And one thing we're doing to address that, we just started doing is we start showing people actual projects with actual people, of course, with the permission of the owner.
Yeah.
Of course,
Right?
With what is that?
NDA kind of thing.
No, it's like a permission to share.
Right, to
basically,
share the
yeah.
information. And we ask that from whoever we install, because those are the true obstacles that we get.
Mm-hmm.
And but we need to do the work, right?
Yeah.
And in order to not lose momentum, we're starting to build that, and we're starting to do those kinds of activities where if you're doubtful, we got no problem disclosing. We got no problems showing you what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I don't know if it's if I'm stepping on somebody's toes, but we, the city council lady, Monica Rodriguez, is backing us up. She sent out mailers, and we actually share an office here at Pacoima City Hall with Pacoima Beautiful.
Okay.
And so why am I saying this? Is because I'm trying to validate what I'm telling you. I'm trying to validate and show your listeners that we are here.
Yeah,
Everything you
citations.
want, we're open book.
Yeah, show your citations. Yeah, no, and I get it. And this is a good way to start tackling those barriers that you're going through with the disbeliefs of people, and just that society, the community that's just seeing it as too good to be true. And this is the way of tackling it. It's just providing proof. Like what else can you really do? You can talk as nice as you want. You can be as genuine as you want. It's still that barrier seems like the only, not the only way. I don't like absolutes, but like a big way of tackling that barrier is providing proof of how you do the work and why do you do it, and look who's helping us out. They're not, if you think we're like somebody cheap or whatever that's trying to scam you, well then why would Monica Rodriguez backing us up?
Yeah, exactly. And it's credibility, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to establish the credibility and earn the trust of the community, and I commend you for that, because it's a hard task. Yeah. It's a hard task.
We live in a world right now where everybody's very skeptical.
Skeptical.
Sorry. What is spectacle? Skeptical. Yes, everybody's very skeptical right now, and I do believe, mindsets have shifted in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Not just that. COVID brought in a lot of
Doubt.
and skepticism. Skepticism. That's why I look at Jason and point at him. I look at him and I was like, is that a word, Jason?
Yeah.
Was it a word? Is it?
Skepticism.
But skeptibility is not a word?
Nah, I don't know. I'm going to have to call Webster on that one.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's just, a lot of doubt in people's minds. And, a lot of people change. And I'm, like how Jason said, I commend you for fighting that fight. It's trying to change people's way of thinking more so than being able. And like you said, we're here to help you. If you don't want the help, well, I mean, that's unfortunate for you, right? Mm-hmm. But you are still trying to provide that information to show them that you are there to help, and that's the main goal, right?
Right. One thing I wanted to not forget to say is that the grant does expire soon, in 2025. We don't even know if it's going to continue or if they're going to extend it. That's the urgency that I need to point out to, is that it's not going to, we have about a year and so for this. And as far as the roof replacement or that's donation. So as we go through the donations, they're not for the, it's not unlimited. We do have a cap. But we would like to have more. But if we don't use these donations, if they don't get used in a fast enough manner, it's hard to ask other people to donate to cover more, right? Because then
of a nonprofit,
you want to run through those donations, and everything's accounted for. But if it requires participation from the homeowners to sign up, because then the sooner we run through these donations, that we can ask for more, because then we're applying these donations. The donations are getting utilized the way they were intended to help out the community, and it's not for everybody. Right now, the donations that we have are particularly for this program. Mm-hmm. So don't squander it.
Yeah. Is there any other maybe final thoughts that you have that you want to leave with the listeners, like about you, about Grid Alternatives
as well? Let's not forget a big part of how can they reach you. What's your social media tags, contacts? Let us know where they can reach you. That's a big part of this. Is we want our audience to know if they're interested in something like this, where can they talk to you?
So we do have web pages. We have a Facebook account. We have Twitter and Instagram. GLA, Grid Alternatives, .org. Also, they can go into that website. We do have where they can apply directly, which is seniorsol.org. And it's a funny commercials in Spanish, but it's also translated in English on the bottom. But it's a funny commercial. I like that because it to me, I just get a kick of it every time I watch it. But underneath that is the application is very simple. It's about 8-9 questions, quick and simple, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So, within that day, sometimes like right after you get go, if you catch us on the computer and we get the notification, we're calling you. Okay, we're very active about that. Sometimes we do get waves, but for the most part, we're responsive. Okay, and we respond to you via text, call, or email. Okay. Please leave your contact information, because otherwise we won't be able to get back to you or answer your questions. But yeah, seniorsol.org will probably be the easiest way to get information or apply.
Seniorsol.org.
Okay.
That's really, and they should ask for Ruben, right?
It's a team.
It's a team, so
it's a team. So
okay.
so and we all come from the same place as far as what we're intending to do here with the community.
Nice.
Okay.
How about you, Jovanes? Any final words
before we head out?
Before we close out?
Of course, I think you guys are here for a good cause, and I want to bring it up that building trust in the community is not a one-day process. It's going to take a while, but I think based on the work you guys are doing and Terry's story, I think it'll happen. People will start trusting, and you guys will hopefully start doing better and helping the community.
Mm-hmm.
And last thing, we do have a referral kind of thing. It's about $200 for every install that we do. So even if you're not getting impacted directly, you can refer somebody, and if we get the install, you get $200.
I refer Hugo.
I was gonna refer my cousin. But that's awesome, Ruben, man. I'm really glad to have you here on the show. It was an amazing time. You brought in so much value, and I like to say opportunity for people of the community to have them get help in a very fortunate way. Not a lot of people that I know can say, we've got solar panels, or my son got a job, or, my mom got help from Grid Alternatives. I think you provide a lot of great help. And I do feel like you cover a lot of the age spectrum. You cover youth. Yeah. You cover middle age, when they own homes, and then also the elderly. Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty huge range that you cover, which is awesome. I think you got that covered, and I think that Grid Alternatives has done great things, and I do hope that they do continue doing great things.
While the funds are there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
First come, first serve.
Yeah.
Don't squander it, because then you're like,
you're gonna miss out.
You gotta make a decision when it's too late, and it's like, oh, I wish I would have.
Yeah, I'm sending out my email right now.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, you guys have been listening to KROJ 101.5 Radio Olin, here with your host Hugo and Jason, with our special guests Jovanes and Ruben. I want to say thank y'all for listening, and we are out.